chapter 3. We are going to discuss on the research design. Okay, research design, it can be experimental or non-experimental, but the basic one I'm going to introduce you again. In the first lecture, I guess we have introduced a bit on quantitative research and qualitative. Quantitative is objective, deductive, numbers, us. On the other hand, qualitative, subjective, cannot be generalized and more on words, very inductive, something yang you create. Deductive, theory yang dah ada, we do it again. Okay? Right, this is table to differentiate between these two. Experimental, another one will be non-experimental. Experimental involve cause and effect. You give cause, you want to see the effect. That's experimental experiment. And another one would be non-experimental. It descriptive research because it measures the sample to a group of people at a moment in time and simply describes the sample's demography. Who are they? How they feel? What's the perception on that? The thing that most of you are doing. And then it cannot test cause and effect. In the descriptive research, non-experimental, we are not to see the effect. We want to see the describe what happened, what's the phenomena, and describe relationship between variables. The more active the athletes, the greater the performance. Itu relationship lah. Higher performance, lower academic. Macam tu example lah. Okay. Two types: pre-experimental, true, and quasi. These points or these notes I refer to Thomson, Nelson, and Silverman. Okay. Can refer it, look for their book. Right? Pre-experimental design, it has three subtypes lagi. Major characteristic of pre-experimental design, no random assignment. Meaning that it would likely to have biased selection of subject. Participant, orang yang dia recruit, dia main ambil aja. Tak random assignment. So dia ada jenisnya lagi, one shot study. One shot, kalau dengan one shot in the pre-experimental, it means that they recruit subject and then they give training, then they give test. O observation is test. Okay, O yang ni lah. Okay, T is the treatment, training atau intervention. Okay, nampak somewhat agreeable kan? This another one group pre-test, post-test design. The difference of this in the compared to the previous, it has pre-test. O1 is pre-test. Pre-test first, tengok baseline kan, macam mana. Give training, then buat post-test. Macam bagus kan? However, this thing is considered pre-experimental design because no group to be compared. One group receive treatment, it obviously will lead to improvement. Tak challenge kan? That's why it's in the pre-experimental design. For example, the subject took test, then train for 3 days, then measure again. They improve. So we can say directly because of the training you give, they improve. However, in research, it is to be questioned. Tak ada group nak compare. You are giving treatment to everyone. Of course, everyone improve kan? Macam tu. Right, and the third one is they have two groups. Static group comparison, two groups. Experimental group yang atas ni, the first one, give training, then bagi testing. Control group, no receive anything, bagi testing. So this design is subject to invalidity because of selection bias. Still in bias, similar to the first one. Second one ada pre-test. Yang ni tak ada pre-test, but ada dua group. So if the difference of testing group experimental or testing group 2, the difference cannot attributed to the training. Training ni tak mampu nak memberi effect sebab the bias of this. Okay, no pre-test. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this pre-experimental design are not valid, so they do not represent experiment. But we are here to see this kind of research exists. However, please a big no of doing it. Right? Second one is nama dia pun dah macam betul. True experimental design. Okay, this one is somewhat like to cater the weakness of pre-experimental. It has randomized group design. Groups are randomly formed, equivalent at the beginning of research. Okay, I try to illustrate here. Experimental, randomized. Okay, recruit 10 orang subjek, random. Kau masuk experimental, another one will be on the control group. Tak ada pilihan lah, macam you random, give random. And then training happens, then pre-test again. Okay, right. This design allows the conclusion that significant difference between O1 testing, post-test 1 and post-test 2 are due to treatment, because the power of this randomized group design, namanya, the name is first group randomized group design. It has random assignment. Mula-mula dia recruit subjek tu dalam 10 orang, dia sama rata, dia tak pilih dulu. Okay, kau pergi experimental, kau pergi control, kau pergi experimental, control. Macam tu. Randomize is very crucial in experimental design. Okay, so that it can be concluded that the result is due to the training. Okay, right, and then it can be extended to any numbers of IV. IV meaning that the number of group, experimental 1, experimental 2. Contohnya ni kan, training ni. This eating coconut drink, minum coconut drink. This is eating madu kelulut. This one is 2.4, 2.4, 2.4. Tapi ada randomization macam tu. If they are to compare the madu kelulut and coconut drink on cardiovascular fitness, dia boleh banyak if they extended. Second one, this is most popular to be utilized by sports science student. Pre-test, post-test randomized group design. Groups are randomly formed, but both groups are given a pre-test as well as post-test. Or is pre-test kan? Testing. Okay. This is experimental group. Layer pertama ni experimental group. They are randomized. Okay. Dibahagikan sama rata ataupun secara rawak. Pre-test, training, post-test. Next group, control group, meaning that group will not receive any intervention. Because we want to challenge those who are no intervention, they just go for pre-test and post-test. We compare the results later on. Orang yang tak receive dan orang yang receive. Okay? Right. The major purpose of this design is to determine the amount of change produced by the treatment. That it does the experimental group change more than control group. If O2, sebagai contoh tadi kan, if the testing of O2 and compared to O4, O2 lebih tinggi, meaning that the improvement due to the training given. Right? And the last point here, a repeated measure can be used. It is a statistical analysis. You will learn throughout the class of statistics. This table is to illustrate the further understanding to the pre-test and post-test randomized group design. Okay, first, recruitment of subject. 300 subject being recruited. Pilih, join for your study, and then you ask them to do pre-test. After pre-test, you random them. This 300 randomized to experimental group atau control group. Yang atas ni experimental, they will receive treatment. Okay, in this case, sama jumlahnya is equal 150. However, the way we assign to the group, either it is experimental group or control group, is random. How to do randomization? It has many cara lah. For example, we put the name 300 name, put in a ball, macam kita buat undi-undi tu lah. And then we put experimental control, that's randomization. In experimental research, the way of doing that randomization is very important to ensure that the result is valid. Macam tu, right? You look at it. After randomization, baru you give training ataupun treatment. And after the training, post-test happens. Okay, post-test is body composition again, similar to pre-test. The same goes to those who are control group. Control group receive no training. 150 orang tu, they just went for pre-test, buat berat badan, and then they are not doing anything, tapi they are doing the same post-test again, sama the same duration with the training. For example, you give training for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, this group experimental doing post-test kan, the same to this group. They receive no treatment, they will not go to any training, but they will have to have post-test after 6 weeks. Okay, duration yang sama. In this study, in this research design, it is somewhat like very powerful to see the effect of the training. Okay, at the end, the post-test of experimental and the post-test of control group will be compared. Hypothetically, the experimental group will improve in the body composition, meaning that will have lower body fat percentage and vice versa lah, dan seterusnya. Okay, the third types will be named Solomon 4 group. Solomon 4 group is a very powerful experimental design because it combines the first type tadi, randomized group design, with the pre-test, post-test randomized group design. If you look at it, ada 4 groups. The first layer, randomization happen, pre-test, training, post-test. Randomization, pre-test, ni control group kan, and then post-test. Randomization, training only, then post-test. Randomization, no training, no pre-test, and post-test saja. So, because it tries to counter every weakness in the previous design, jenis design tadi tu. However, it requires many subjects. Okay, right. The third one, it will be named quasi-experimental design. Okay, the third types of experimental design is called quasi. The purpose of this design is to fit the setting like the real world, while still controlling as many aspects to internal validity as possible. Maksudnya no randomization is not saying that it's not good seperti pre-experimental because no randomization. However, it makes sense that random assignment cannot be used in many settings. Example is school, school setting, educational. Example, a researcher want to investigate the impact of curricular intervention to classes because school make this decision or agriculture have educational value. Okay, takkanlah kita nak letak budak tu, the pelajar, kau pergi kelas sebelah lah, receive training ataupun receive something. We make it as real as we can. So no randomization. Kelas A pergi online class, kelas B tak pergi. By the end of the day, we compare. That thing happen. If class A receive online class, class B no receive online class, it just go for traditional. At the end of the day, at the end of semester, you compare the result. That design is under quasi. You're not randomize it. Siapa dalam kelas A tu kelas A lah. Siapa kat kelas B lah. Tak perlu pun nak campur aduk dan bagi. No, because it's more real to the educational setting. Tak banyak lagi yang boleh buat macam ni. Case by case. Right? Okay. It has its subtypes. Reversal design, satu group saja. Pre-test, testing, intervention. Testing, intervention. This is in school setting. I just want to introduce you. And this one, dia ada control group, ada juga, tapi the group first layer here could be non-equivalent, meaning that the experimental group maybe 10 orang, the non-experimental group maybe 2 orang, macam tu, not equivalent. We are not equal in number, unlike the pre-test, post-test randomized group design. However, it still can be used because it's quasi. They declare that they want to be as natural as they can. Remember, it's in school setting semua tu lah, right? And then, yeah, this is my favorite, S post facto design. Okay, still under quasi. The third types in quasi is after the fact research. Ini bahasa Latin lah, after the fact. It is a static group comparison. No treatment given is still under the quasi experimental design, but we want to see after the fact. Example, athletes and non-athletes. Kita nak compare how they do it. Highly fit versus unfit. Comparison, profiling. expert versus novice, junior versus senior. Nak tengok je. The example that I love to share is the rugby players, kan, by position, comparing the fitness between position of rugby players, backs and forwards. Tak ada experimental given. I love to do ex post facto because it gives me a more exploration on what happened. We want to understand. It is causal comparative design. When to compare if they are in this position, how they do, the fitness is good or bad, ataupun itulah, right? After the fact research. Okay, so this table is try to give you a detail. Control group ada ke tak in pre-experimental? Ada yang ada yang tak ada, but through experimental we always have it. Quasi ada atau tidak. Okay, randomized pre-experimental tak ada randomization, tak ada. That's why pre-experimental is very weak. True experimental is somewhat a king of experimental design. It always have a control group and a randomization and non-bias. The result will be valid to be relied to. And quasi, even though no randomization, they are relying on the natural setting, katanya. And then yes, this two is somewhat like we can always refer to. Next is non-experimental design. We have 4 types here in non-experimental design: descriptive, correlational, historical, and qualitative. However, we focus on the two, the bold and big font. Okay. Non-experimental design, we have 2 types. Descriptive. It is used when the researcher has a clear idea about a social phenomenon or behavior under investigation. The one that you want to do, you want to provide details, you have the idea, and then you want to understand the situation, social relationship. It is concerned with what happened, who involved, and characteristics of the setting, and it does not investigate why. No why, it just on the understanding. Descriptive, you describe what you explore, how they feel, who are they, what's the theory, what you want to compare, macam tu. On the next side, correlational is ask what several events have in common. Okay, ask whether knowing one event can be related to another event. The higher self-esteem, the higher academic achievement, how they can be related. If we are doing it, it is under correlational research, and again, it does not imply causation. No cause, because you will only to see the correlation saja, the relationship between 2 variables. Okay, this is examples of descriptive research. You read the methods that be utilized by descriptive research. Survey. It can be useful if you want to collect data on phenomena that cannot be directly observed, such as opinion. You have questionnaire, valid one, you distribute by name by using survey method. A survey can be anything from a short paper and pencil, traditional one, online form, or one-on-one interview. Mean that questionnaire I read for you, then the answer is from you, but I take it. There's more detail because they want to minimize the potential of dishonesty on the questionnaire. Jawab suka hati je. Ini sini kau, I do it one-on-one. More detail. It cannot test cause and effect. Survey method cannot test cause and effect. It is only to describe the phenomena, the situation, perception, thing that you're going to propose. Right? 2 types of survey method close to us. One shot. It is being distributed at a set point in time after result. So far, example of before and after, entrance and exit. If you are answering the entrance and exit, you see the question in the entrance the same with the exit. They want to see it is improved or not at the end of the semester due to the lecture. Macam tu. But it's not experimental. It's just before and after. Sebelum pergi kelas, lepas pergi kelas, sebelum masuk diploma, and after exit test, and English exit test. Okay, right? Type of survey going to mention in your research design, it is cross-sectional or longitudinal. Cross-sectional used to gather information on a population at a single point of time. Masa tu je. For example, during SUKMA, if the information gathered after SUKMA it is assumed to be not the same, because in the season, in the masa tertentu, the description will be not the same. The same goes to now. If you are doing the perception of Malaysian on their happiness of Malaysian during COVID. COVID is the single point of time. It could be takkan COVID selama-lamanya, tak maulah, but the happiness before COVID could be not similar, not the same as now. Maybe you are happy to dah sikit-sikit lagi. In single point of time. When you want to collect the data, is very crucial because it's during the one time snapshot. Another one is longitudinal, gather data for a period of time, masa yang panjang. Lain kali ada lagi buat survey tu because you want to describe or explain what happened to them. Longitudinal, and this happened in a social science study because they want to understand how you perceive when you are teenage. Then give lagi how you perceive when you are 40 years old, krisis kan dengan umur macam tu. Okay? Right? Okay? Which one is your sample or which one is your type of research design? In chapter 3, you need to write what is your research design. Either it is experimental or non-experimental. It is which type of experimental and which type is the non-experimental. And you relate to your topic, to your title.